Welcome to She Built It. I'm your host, Melanie Barr. Building a lasting skincare business takes more than just great treatments. It takes trust, clear positioning, operational discipline, and the ability to grow without chasing every trend. Rachel Lee Lozina is the founder of Blue Water Spa, a results-driven skincare business with locations on Long Island and in the Hamptons. Over more than 2 decades, she's turned clinical expertise into a trusted brand and expanded while keeping science and client results at the center. Rachel, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
What is the moment, belief, or frustration that made you think that Blue Water Spa needed to exist?
As somebody that has worked in the industry for 23 years, when I started out, I was young. I didn't know anything. I started out working for other people. I had multiple jobs across multiple facets of aesthetics. So I worked in a plastic surgery office. I worked in a dermatology office, and I also worked in a day spa setting. And after a while, of course, I had to get my feet wet and I had to learn all different aspects of aesthetics. I always felt like maybe we should bring this on. Maybe we should do this. Maybe we can add that. And have you ever thought about doing this? And I just started really coming into my entrepreneurial sense. And I kept having this sensation that I can do this better. And they don't really know what they're doing. And I'm the one that knows what they're doing. And therefore, I should be doing it. So it kind of happened naturally. I never really considered myself as an entrepreneur, but I ended up having a knack for it, which is amazing.
And some of the best businesses start that way when you think I can do this better, or there's a need for this. You know, the best businesses come from a need.
So I think that that's another thing too, is there's two sides of the spectrum in aesthetics. You have your medical, where you get all of your lasers, your dermatology, your medical aesthetics, your injectables, the painful stuff, I like to say, right? The needles and the lasers and the expensive stuff. And then at the other end of the spectrum, you have the resort spa, right? The day spa, the resort spa, where it's a very fluffy style facial. There's lots of massage. It's a glorified lotion application. And I was like, where's the middle? And that's what I've set out to do, is create something in the middle, result-driven, non-invasive facials, where there's no downtime, no pain, but you're actually changing the skin, physiologically changing the skin. And that's really one of the things that I'm super passionate about. Also, one of the things that I'm determined to do in my lifetime is change the way people think about what a facial can do. A lot of people think that facials are just relaxing. Like, oh, I loved the massage part. And I'm like, well, maybe just get a massage next time. Because here I am, I want to change your skin. I want you to walk out and be like, wow, look at my, like, oh my gosh, look at my face. And then the progression of actually changing someone's skin. That's really my focus.
That's so true. And as a busy entrepreneur, a busy mom, we want everything done at the same time. We don't want to have to go and do 2 different things. So the thought of going in and having all of that done is really appealing.
As a mom, I have 3 kids. You have 2 kids. I have 2 businesses. And then I have my other children, which are like my 15 to 25 employees that I have. To me, that is something that I'm juggling all of these things. And it's hard to go run, stop, relax, enjoy, run, stop, relax, enjoy. And I know we're always telling ourselves that we need to ease into things, but it's really hard to kind of start and stop. A lot of my clients are there to, yes, it's you're laying down. Somebody's working on you. You're getting self-care. But at the same token, it's not a dark room and very quiet voices, which a lot of spas are like. We're here to connect, which is really the other aspect that I think a lot of women are missing, is the emotional connection part. So it's part therapy, part skin therapy, part results, part transformation, and a 100% fun for sure.
I love that you took all of the needs and brought them together. And I don't know about you, but I have to schedule in time for myself. And the thought of putting something on my calendar and knowing what I'm going to expect when I show up and that I'm going to leave in such a good headspace and with the mindset is so appealing.
Right. So it's a little bit of therapy and a little bit of a skin rejuvenation all in one. So I think that that's also extremely appealing as well.
What part of the business lights you up the most? What could you talk about all day?
Of course, there's the aspect of the skin science and the whys. I'm very big on analogies, and I can sit there and give you 25 different explanations of why vitamin A or retinols, retinaldehydes, whatever version you're looking at is beneficial for you. that lights me up. That's very exciting. And explaining to somebody why they need to do X, Y, and Z in order to achieve results. I could talk about it all day. For instance, everyone loves microneedling, but if you're not using the proper home care and you just get microneedling and you're using something over the counter, and you don't have a real routine, you're not going to get the results you're looking for. So it's also like eating cheeseburgers and lifting weights. You're kind of not really getting where you need to go. I could talk about that all day long, but honestly, the thing that lights me up is the emotional connection that I have with my clients and the love that we share and the stories that we share. I started out in this industry when I was 22, and I feel as though I've learned so much from my clients. They're so smart and they're so wise, and I've learned so much, and I feel like that's, for me. And of course, it's reciprocal too, because now I have younger clients and it's the same thing. I'm the wise one. But when I first started out, I learned so much from my clients, and it was just such I hate to say sisterhood, but it's kind of like this connection. You're working with each other. They bring something to the table. I bring something to the table, and we connect. And it's also very unique because it's a one-on-one and it's in a quiet room. Whereas everyone's like, oh, the hairdressers know everything. I'm like, no, the estheticians know everything. Because the estheticians are the ones that they talk about what's happening in their lives, their kids, their husbands, their marriages. And we really do have all the secrets. So to me, that's really the most happy part of what I do is, of course, making people look good and feel good, but also the love we share.
It's like going to get your hair done. They know everything too. It's great you're building that sense of community.
Yes.
And going back to the knowledge, when I go in, my life is so busy with travel and kids and growing multiple businesses. When I go in, I want someone to give me that information. And it's great when you leave knowing, because then you don't go home thinking, well, I also want to look good. And how do I achieve that?
Right. And also making it palatable for you to understand. You may not understand the hows and the whys, but if I can explain it to you in a simplistic way that makes sense to you, I think that's okay. I understand that. And so when I talk about antioxidants, everyone uses this word antioxidants. They throw it around all the time. And antioxidants prohibit oxidative damage. Well, what's oxidation? That's rust. That's when you open up an avocado, it turns brown. That's oxidation. In our skin, it turns into wrinkles and brown spots. And using things, if you took an apple and you opened it up, and if you squeeze some lemon juice on it, like a vitamin C, it prohibits it from turning brown. So that makes sense to somebody that isn't a technical person in aesthetics. And so they're like, okay, I'm going to put this vitamin C on so I don't oxidize my face and I don't have wrinkles and brown spots. So that makes sense to most people. And that's educating them in a palatable, easy to understand way that isn't overwhelming or 25 steps.
Yeah. And just like going to a business expert, I want to go to someone who's an expert in skincare.
Right. And I'm kind of an old school esthetician because I've been doing this for so long, but aesthetics is wildly popular now. Everybody's an esthetician. Everyone's going to aesthetic schools. Aesthetic schools are almost more popular than hairdressing schools now or cosmetology schools. We're seeing 200-300 girls a year graduating just in our county with degrees looking for jobs. And so it's hard to find jobs. So they all end up going out on their own and they don't get that real world experience of working for somebody and the mentorship that goes along with it. So you have a lot of these young girls that think they know everything and they really don't. They don't have the real world experience of understanding the hows and the whys.
Yes, I'm seeing that in tech a lot, in all the social platforms. It's go start this business, but is there that foundation to really go do that?
Right. It's kind of like the life coach of skincare. Anyone could be a life coach these days. And I feel like skincare takes time to really understand the hows and the whys, years of touching and whoops, that burns. Let me take that off. That's kind of the way it goes. Let me see. And if you don't understand the skin, you can really, really, really mess up the skin. And even very professional estheticians still can make big mistakes because you're using acids. Sometimes these girls are using scalpels close to the face, lasers. I've seen some terrible burns with lasers. You really have to know what you're doing because you can create permanent scarring on somebody if you don't do it right.
How are you using AI in your business today? And where do
Oh,
you see the biggest opportunity to
I love
support a
AI.
service-based business like
Right.
Blue
I
Water
love
Spa?
AI. I think everyone that is an entrepreneur is really leaning into AI. And I feel like if you're not leaning into AI, you're going to be left behind. I look at AI and I feel like that's like our boomer parents that were like, I don't care about cell phones. I don't care about computers. You do that for me. I'm not, they're not interested. I'm like, you guys are going to be left in the dust if you can't figure out how to use a cell phone and even a computer. If you're not getting with the technology, because the whole world is being built around AI, whether we like it or not. So we better get on board. But I use AI often. I try not to do too much artwork with AI because it's so obvious. Like you can see these flyers that they make and it's got the bullet points and the little like lotus flower. It's a little too, you can tell right away.
Everything looks the same.
Everything looks
Yeah.
the same, right? I use AI, oh God, so much. More than I'd like to admit because it's a little embarrassing. Sometimes I will use AI to, of course, the standards, rewrite emails. But I've even done some major things where I've taken estimates for reworking websites. I've taken statistics for my ad spend for Meta and Google, and I've pumped that into AI. I've taken some of the metrics and the reports that I have from my business to really collaborate and give a clear, digestible view of what's the biggest needle mover, where the girls could improve that work for me, where most of our money is going, because having some financial fluency is really important, understanding the hows and the whys. AI is incredible, but again, for art, I don't really want to use it for art. I want to use it for the accounting stuff, the bookkeeping stuff, the stuff that doesn't require any sort of creativity.
Yeah, it's great that you can use it for the service piece, but
Yeah.
in your business, the in real life will not be replaced.
So,
Hopefully.
I don't think sounds a little morbid, but like I've spent a lot of time looking into what the future of the world looks like with AI, and I think that no one's going to replace my job. No one's going to replace a hairdresser. Nobody wants a robot cutting your hair, dyeing your hair, braiding your hair, doing facials, doing extractions, doing laser. Even I know the robotic nails in the airport that they have. That's like a little weird. You're sticking your hand in a box and it's,
And massages too.
Yeah. But that's a little, you can understand you sit in a chair or that big machine that comes down and rolls on your back. But it's not so much that AI is going to take my job. It's just that AI is going to take every other job and maybe people won't have the money to even get facials. That's like a kind of a crazy thing that I've thought of. Any computer-based job might be gone eventually.
Yeah, it's so interesting to think
wild.
that far ahead. I'm always saying we're not robots yet.
Not yet until you have like a robot that cleans your house and does your laundry and folds your clothes. That's what I want my robots to do.
I'm all
Fold my
for.
clothes, do
Yeah.
my laundry, make my bed.
I'm all for that.
Right.
Yes. How are you thinking about visibility and positioning in a world where so much beauty content is trend-driven or algorithm-dependent?
The big joke in my industry is the girls will have to be funny or sexy or dance in order to get the views. And all of that definitely gets views. But where's the value in the view? If a million eyes are driving past a billboard that doesn't relate to them, what's the point? I know we live in this world where views are everything, but I would rather have 10,000 people that actually follow me than 100,000 that don't care what I have to say and keep scrolling. The value that you bring and the education that you bring, that means saying some things that are a little controversial, some things that maybe people don't want to hear, and really kind of sticking to your views. I mean, we all have views. You're just talking about cleansing and moisturizing and wearing your sunscreen. That's not interesting to somebody. Sticking to your guns, talking about what you think is important and holds value, and just staying the course is the most value. And, the people that are your people are going to find you. I'm a firm believer in that. I've been in aesthetics since before social media was even a thing. I remember when social media came out first and I was like, this is like a shrine to yourself. Like, that's what I said to my girlfriend. She's like, yeah, I mean, it's a page with you and your pictures. And I was like, But now it's absolutely necessary in this world. You have to have social media. You have to post. You have to chronically make content. But it's exhausting. Staying relevant, sticking to your guns, talking about what you know, and rinse, repeat in different variations is really the most important thing. And talking about what's upcoming and new. In my industry, everything keeps changing. So having an opinion about the latest machine or, hey, I tried this new treatment called Zerf, that's the things that people want to hear. They don't want to hear the same old boring thing. And listen, we can all laugh about the girls that are with the machines that are dancing and they're doing funny things in the treatment room, but there's educational content and then there's brain rot.
Entertainment.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to do the entertainment really. I mean, maybe a little I have, but I'd rather just talk about what I know, which I do know a lot. So talk about what I know.
And it seems your community would much rather have the education.
That's my whole platform is I'm not here to make you relax. I'm here to change your skin. If you want to relax, go to the resort, go to the hotel spa.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to go to the doctor that's going to give you a hug. You want to go to the doctor that's going to actually help you. What is your biggest growth challenge right now as you run 2 locations? And how are you thinking about solving it?
The biggest growth challenge I find is, it's hard to say because there's so much competition in my community, nail salons. It's like, I don't know about you in your town, but I have a very, very small town and there's 3 nail salons within a block of each other, right? Staying relevant, recapturing clients, because clients have the shiny ball syndrome. Let's be honest. As a woman, you're like, ooh, wait. There's another eye cream. I want to try that. And there's no magic eye cream. We get bored though. We have the shiny ball syndrome. We're looking for something new. We're chronically looking for something new. Reinventing yourself isn't necessarily my strategy, but it's making things that we do exciting and bringing on new treatments, but also reincorporating the old and trying to stay relevant in a world where every year there's 6 or 7 new fancy machines that are like I joke around, I say like in a Ferrari with a big touch screen and they're $350,000. And unfortunately, the doctors feel very compelled to buy these machines to stay relevant. They look like they're cutting edge. And that's not my game at all because I don't think that a lot of those machines are really what's best for your skin. They're very aggressive. And when we're trying to improve your skin, it's slow and low in consistency. It's not wham, bam, remove the skin down to crazy downtime. Every once in a while, sure. But as a rule, as the only thing you do, that's not. The problem I find is telling clients, stop doing that. Stop doing that stuff. They go into the city and, oh, Mr. Laser guy, he's got the latest thing. I was like, you don't want the latest laser on your face. You want the old and the gold. You don't want the new and the aggressive. Because we don't know, for instance, have you ever heard of the treatment called Morpheus 8? It's a radiofrequency microneedling treatment where these needles are very aggressive and they go very deep into the skin and they use radiofrequency heat in the needles. And now there's an FDA black box warning on it that it causes subcutaneous fat loss. I could have told you that 5 years ago when it came out. Everyone's chasing the shiny ball, but it's like getting clients to understand that that's not the be all end all. That's not what we're looking for. It's just consistency with products and facials, truly.
And when you think about it, you talked about vitamin C. That's from nature.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because what does your skin know about? So right now there's a really big popular thing called PDRN, which is like salmon sperm. And I think salmon is good internally when you eat it with the omegas and all of the nutrients inside of it. But when you topically put salmon sperm on your face, what does your skin know about salmon sperm? That's like, I'm going to take this salmon water that the salmon's been sitting in and I'm going to start watering my plants with it. You're like, so, but we have this like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I'm smiling when you say that. I do not want to put it on my face.
But it's like we keep finding this new hot ingredient because at the end of the day, it's a marketing ploy. We have to remarket something new. Let's take something old and let's make it new, right? So
but
it's
when
very
you say
gimmicky.
that, I think I do not want to go put salmon sperm on my face.
You'd be surprised. Some people do some really wild things.
I understand. I understand the thought of it, but when it's put like that, no, thank you.
Right.
What has changed most in your leadership over 20 plus years? And what has scaling from 1 location to 2 asked of you personally?
Leadership, I think that as you get older, I think once you hit 40, you stop caring so much about what people think. And also you start realizing that you're not part of it's not that you're not part of the team, but you're not part of the friend group that works for you. When you have a team, I love the girls that work for me. They're going out and they're doing things. They don't want to hang out with their boss. Once I kind of realized I'm not part of the fun crew and I'm the boss, I was like, oh yeah, I'm not cool. I'm their boss. They don't want to hang out with me, you know? But I think that once you get to 40, you stop giving a shit about many, many things. You got kids or things that have happened. The ebbs and flows of entrepreneurship can really, I don't want to say harden you, but it can really make you feel, I can't let this happen anymore. I need to sit these girls down and talk about X, Y, and Z. Also, when you realize that sometimes some of the behaviors and some of the things that are happening are actually harming your business, that's my child. That's like yelling at another parent because they mistreated your kid. This is my child. I have 3 actual children, and then I have two spas, and those are my other kids too. So don't mess with my kid. You guys are messing with my kids. So not being afraid to actually bring up things that are uncomfortable, because either you're uncomfortable or they're uncomfortable. What do you want to be? And who's the boss here? So there's that. And then you said something about the second location. I will say that opening up a second location is absolutely one of the hardest things I ever did. It's lonely. It's hard. It's also, for me, it's an hour and a half away from where I live. It's about 70 miles away from where I live. And there's absolutely no room for failure. So you have to do whatever it takes. You have to get up really early in the morning. You have to start hitting the pavement. You have to start calling people. You have to walk into places. You have to really, really, really work it. It's a really interesting kind of humbling experience, because I've been in business for 18 years at my Oyster Bay location. And then I opened up Southampton, and suddenly I'm the new kid on the block and nobody knows who I am, and I have 0 street cred. And I have to be like, no, I'm really good. Trust me. Like, I've had 18 years to have market share in my other location, and everybody knows who I am. And now I'm the new kid on the block and I have 0 reputation. But it's relentless marketing, connecting, talking to this person, calling that person up, cold calling, not being afraid to be rejected, because there's a lot of rejection that happens. Reaching out to other businesses, inviting them in, working for free. There's a lot of working for free. There's a lot of me giving people facials for free, which I joke around is a lot like me taking somebody out to lunch. I want an hour of their time. I want to connect with them. I want to build a relationship, right? There was times where I would be out there 4 days a week and I'd be away from my family, and my husband's like, go do it. Like, do it now while you're young. You're not going to be able to do it when you're 50, 60. He's always been a huge promoter and encourager. So for me, it's lonely and it's hard. But now that I'm kind of at the other end of it, and I've been in business 2 years now, and things are starting to really, the momentum starting to start rolling down the hill, I'm like, thank God I did that. But it was incredibly difficult. I'm not saying I don't recommend it, but it's increased my capacity for stress in a way that I can't explain.
It's great that you had that family support, and thank you for talking about the struggles of entrepreneurship, because it is a roller coaster. Some days you wake up thinking, what am I doing? And the next day you could have the best day you've ever had.
And sometimes it's on the same day. You know, sometimes
right. Those are the days that are really fun.
Sometimes that's on the same day. You wake up in a great mood and then you're like, what did I do? Or vice versa, right? Yes. And it's wild, because you can have one person completely change your day. That's really, you remember why you're doing what you're doing. Back to your original thing. What's the point of this all? The point is to connect. The point is to it's love. Full blown, full stop. It's love. It's connecting and loving clients and making them happy and being like, I'm doing good in the world. That's it.
Yeah, I'm sure when a client leaves happy, that's the best feeling.
You hope, right? You hope. But you never know. Some clients are just determined to be unhappy, and that really takes all the wind out of your sails too.
Yeah, that's when I go back to letting go of the things we can't control.
That's right.
It's hard to do.
And that's what I'm saying. It's the pressure changes you as a person, and you become this resilient diamond. It's like that pressure. My capacity for stress, and then it's like it makes my children look like a cakewalk. I'm not even kidding. It really does.
It's true.
You know, because you love them unconditionally and you do anything, drop the world for them. Businesses, you have to rely on other people. And that's the other thing too, is trusting other people to help carry you along. We're all rowing this boat together, trusting other people that they're going to be doing their share and helping them out. And the delegation that goes along with that, that's incredibly hard too.
What is one lesson about owning and operating a service-based business that you wish more founders talked about openly?
In my industry, in the beauty industry, a lot of people are paid commission. That's just always the way it's been. And it's a horrible, horrible, horrible way to run a business. I talked to some girls and they're getting paid minimum wage and then they're getting paid 40% of whatever they do. I don't know how businesses survive doing that. That's a beauty industry. I don't want to say it's a standard, but it's slowly deteriorating because how can you survive when you're paying minimum wage and then you're giving away almost half of your income? Plus you got overhead, plus you have taxes, plus you have liability insurance, overhead insurance, the IRS taxes. I mean, it's a lot more difficult than you think. That's why a lot of businesses fail. It's like restaurant businesses. It's like one of the most difficult businesses to take off. Aesthetics is difficult because you train somebody, you teach them, and then they go off and do their own thing because they think they know everything. And if they have the ability to get to the level at which I am, which is 2 locations, multiple employees, it takes a lot to get there. And it takes a lot of slow growth, consistent growth. But what I would say is that don't pay people commission, pay them hourly. And as they grow within your company, then keep giving them raises as they deserve, as they prove to you that they're worthy. That would be one of my biggest takeaways to anybody that's in my industry.
We have talked a lot about business today. What is one way that you make sure to protect and cultivate your own joy?
That's a really funny question because I don't really think about that. But I've always, I guess from when having children when they were very young, I used to have this habit where I would come home after working on people all day long and taking care of them. I would go home and I would need to decompress and I would take a bath and I would read whatever book I'm reading. And that was my little quiet decompression time. I take daily baths almost every single day with my Epsom salts and I do a face mask on my face. And that's like something I do for myself. And I built it into my life that this is what I do. Everyone knows that every Mother's Day, they'd be like, what's mommy's favorite thing? Taking a tubby. That would be on the list. I own a spa, but I have a person that doesn't work for me come to my house and give me a massage once a month. That's standard. Unfortunately, beauty for me it's necessary for my self. I have to look good. So I need to regularly get my hair dyed, regularly get my nails done. And it's just, you built it into your life. And it's just like any other appointment. You have to do it.
And I was smiling when you said baths. Like Epsom salt is so great for recovery.
That's
and
right.
I'm always talking to my kids are so athletic. Like there's a lot of Epsom salt baths going on in our house because it's just so good for recovery and for that relaxation. So good for you for taking that time for yourself.
Right.
Thank you for helping us have better skin and educating us on how to take care of ourselves. Please share with us how and where we can find you.
You can find me on Instagram. It's blue_water_spa, as well as I believe on Facebook, we're Blue Water Spa New York. And also we're bluewaterspany.com on the World Wide Web.